Hi, winter is over and it's springtime now on the French Riviera. It's perfect time to wrap up the review of this three-legged thing Winston 2.0 tripod, which I've had for 5 months now. So let's dive into it. So long story short, I was at the Paris Photo Fair last October and I walked by the booth of Three-Legged Thing and struck a conversation with one of the representatives. And it turned out they were interested in having someone from France test their gear and review it. And they were very generous because 2 weeks later, I had the tripod in my hands, including also a couple of accessories they generously provided. And I was looking already for a set of new legs, especially for macro videography, because my current tripod couldn't really bear the weight of my rig, and I was looking for something more sturdy, and so this was very timely. So Three-Legged Things were fantastic. They let me choose whatever I wanted from the range of their tripods, including some of the most expensive options. In the end, I chose Winston because I thought it fitted best my requirements. I needed something not too heavy, so this is 2 kilos with the ball head. I needed carbon fiber tripod. I needed the thickest legs I could find, so this is 29 millimeters. And I decided for a center column, which normally I don't use much in macro, but as you will see, it proved very useful. And I wanted also the tripod that could go as low as possible next to the ground. So it was a difficult choice, but eventually I'm very happy I picked up this one. I don't review gear unless I've taken it to a field and used it for real. So I've used this for about 5 months now in all kinds of situations, and we're gonna go into that right away. And I'm extremely happy with the quality and performance of this tripod. This is, before anything, fantastic engineering. Everything is very smooth, perfectly adjusted. You can tell it's a very, very high quality product. So the tripod is 2 kilos and 61 centimeters long, and it's a bit long for traveling, but it can be taken apart. It's also a 3-section tripod because I wanted something very stable. I don't like thin legs. The knob mechanism is fantastic. The knobs are very broad and they're easy to operate, so it's very easy to deploy the tripod. The tripod also comes with a very nice pouch and accessories such as this little carabiner thing, which is very useful for adjusting the legs. And it's also a beautiful piece of kit. I choose the gray finish and with the orange trimmings, and I think it's beautiful. It's also nice to have something like this in your bag. So my first use case was around here, taking the tripod to the forest for a session of mushroom photography. So my very first impression of using the tripod in the field was absolutely excellent. I was impressed with the quality, the ease of use, and the lightness of the rig. It was immediately very stable, and the ball head locked very nicely. There was no sagging at all, even with the weight of the Nikon Z9 and the 150 millimeter IRIX lens. Then it was time to take it to the road and go to other locations for other types of photography. So I am at the Montier Nature Photo Festival, the biggest in France and in Europe. And it's a good opportunity not only to see beautiful photographs and or meet the people behind the photographs, but it's also a chance to test the Winston tripod under different conditions than what I do at home. So we're going to put it through different scenarios and see what happens. And it's raining. So I'm set up and I've extended the center column because I want to see how stable it is under this configuration. I don't really like high center columns because I think it adds a measure of shakiness to the setup, but I want to test, and to make it really stable I've put my bag here under. Although not so heavy, it really stabilizes the tripod and it's quite steady now. Okay, of course I could extend the legs, that would probably be better, but I want to test this. Okay, and I think it's fine. I'm gonna start filming my ducks now.
Okay, here's another use case. You can see behind me the lake over there, and maybe you don't see it from here, but it's chock full of birds. So this is a use case where I set up the tripod to do long-range photography and videography with a long lens. You can see I have a Z9, which is heavy body, with a video cage and the small mirror lens. And this ball head is great, very good, doesn't buck under the weight of the rig, even if it's much heavier than this. And the tripod is extremely stable, no vibration. But I'm perfectly satisfied with this. Plus, I have to walk a lot around here, as you can see under the rain. And the weight of the tripod makes it very easy to take it to the field for situations like this. The tripod has been performing perfectly. I don't have a very heavy lens now, it's only a mirror lens. And I tried also the new 180-600 from Nikon, and the weight is much more than this rig right here, and the tripod performed absolutely flawlessly, and I had no vibration, and I had very good stability to do both video and photography with this setup. Okay, enough for this location. I want to show you now another use of this tripod and its accessories. So let's move to another place and go inside the observatory and set up the rig in a different way. So what I'm going to do next is take apart the tripod and reduce its height, because I want to take it to the observatory, and there I cannot set the tripod, it's too big, it will bother people, and I want to have a very low profile stability platform. So I'm going to use this part and set it up with the legs here that are accessories to this, and they're called the Vans kit, and I'm going to replace the legs by this. So let's see. All right, I removed everything, center column, and the legs. Of course, I've practiced before, it's not the first time. And now I'm going to screw these tiny legs here, the three of them. They have spikes too, under the rubber balls, so I could set them on the ground actually. And here I have my new platform. So we're gonna change location and see how it performs under the heavy weight of the Z9. So I'm in the observatory. I have to be very discreet because no noise here because of the birds, and I'm going to set up and not comment on this and show you how I set up my camera. Just out of the observatory, and I'm going to give you my first impressions. This was not prepared because I haven't used this setup before. I'm blown away by the quality of this and the stability I got here to film the birds at a long distance. This setup with the Vans feet and the ball head is incredibly stable. It's a bit heavy, and with the Z9 on top, it didn't move at all. It's much better than what I got the other day when I came. I just put my camera on the board because I didn't have a tripod or anything, and just set up the camera like this, and it was difficult to you know, to have stability, no vibrations. I'm enthusiastic about this setup, and I'm going to use much more, probably doing macro photography and videography in the next future. So I'm still at the Montier Festival, last day, and I want to take the opportunity to do another use case for the Winston tripod. There's a lot of beautiful forests around here, and which I don't have near my place. It's quite a different ecosystem, and so this is a good opportunity to do another use case and try to find some mushrooms to complete a series I've been working on for the past 2 years. So let's go into the forest and find mushrooms. All right, just what I needed. Here, there's more there. Flares in the background probably because there's some sun now. So I'm going to set up the tripod and see what I can get. This tripod is so versatile. This is why you need to do a field review and use equipment before you do a review. I wanted to photograph this beautiful cluster of mushrooms with the sun in the bag, beautiful flares. And to put the camera exactly where I wanted, I had to remove the center column because you otherwise hit the floor. But it was very simple. I just unscrewed this, screwed back the ball head on the main part of the tripod, and that's it. And something I will use probably for macro video too, when I can put the tripod close to the ground, and that's going to be enough to, you know, to shoot some insects on flowers, for example. So let me explain what I'm doing. I've inverted the column and suspended my camera under the column. I don't want to have my camera inverted because I would have to invert back all the pictures. So I have the camera in a video cage and I hung the camera from the top. And also it's better than using the flash shoe, because I'm always afraid that the flash shoe might, you know, be damaged with a lot of weight on. So this solution is great. I'm just you know, putting an Arca plate on top of the cage and sliding it into the ball head. So this is exactly what I wanted to do today in this second use case. When I choose a tripod for the range proposed by Legged Things, I decided to get a tripod with a center column, which I wouldn't do normally for video, but I knew that for macro photography it would be very useful, because inverting the column lets me put the camera almost on the floor and adjust my angle perfectly. Normally I do this kind of photography using a bean bag, and the bean bag doesn't give me always perfect stability, and it gets dirty, and you know, the camera may shift during the taking of the pictures if I do a stack, for example. So this solution is so much better, and it's very easy to invert the column on this tripod. So I'm very happy with that. It's really a solution to a problem I had, and from now on I'm going to use this exclusively for all my mushroom shots, and you know, anything that's on the ground or very close to the ground, I'll be using this technique. Nothing new, of course, but the tripod makes it just very easy to implement. Amazing amounts of mushrooms here. They're just everywhere, much more abundant than where I live on the French Riviera, different forests. So it's almost time to go back now, because the sun's going down and the cranes flying back to the lake, so it's end of the day. We're going to conclude this part and move to another location for a bit more testing of the Winston tripod. But this, for mushroom photography, has been absolutely fantastic. I'm thrilled with the ease of use, the ease to change between configurations, the stability and everything. Beautiful. Okay, for the last use case, we've moved to San Francisco. I've brought the tripod to support the scope, which I'm reviewing too, and to do some digiscopy with it. And the tripod has proven fantastic for this too, because it's lightweight for travel, easy to set up, and makes good support for the scope. Once the scope is here fitted with my Nikon camera, actually there's a tiny bit of shake. I could use probably bigger legs, but the whole combo is very convenient. And this is almost 2 kilos altogether. And once it's set up, if I don't touch it, it's perfect for filming birds and other animals from a long distance. So I'm very happy with Winston for that use. It's a bit different from the macro work and the video work, but it worked perfectly, and the tripod is extremely convenient to bring because it can be taken apart to put in a suitcase for saving space. One thing maybe is that I probably could use a video head or a fluid head rather than the ball head, because it will give more stability, especially that the center of gravity of this is a bit on the back. And as you can see, it will wobble slightly. And so for filming, I have to just take my hands off the scope and let it rest so there's no vibrations. But other than that, fantastic.
So in summary, I love this product, and I also love the funky marketing of the company. They're very funny. Any defect, any cons about this tripod? Absolutely none. Just nitpicking, maybe, some of you are like me, prefer to have spring-loaded locking mechanisms for the legs, but that's really nothing. This one is very easy to operate, works fine, just a tiny bit. So highly recommended, and I suggest you look into the tripod range of Legged Thing for your work, photo and video. You'll see this featured in upcoming videos on macro videography, my expeditions, etc. Stay tuned for more about this. I love it so much actually that I purchased myself the video head from the company, which is also excellent, and you will see it in upcoming videos. So I really want to warmly thank the team at Legged Thing for the vote of confidence, for giving me the product and letting me review it. You guys have been absolutely fantastic, and I'm looking forward to more work with the company products. Stay tuned for more videos where you see this and other things appear. Ciao!